welcome to Kingston Library's book review for today. Today I'm going to talk about one of my favourite poets ever, Nikita Gill. And I've actually met her in person and she's a lovely person, which just adds to me loving her work completely. I'm going to talk about her book, Great Goddesses. And the reason I've chosen this book today is because February is LGBTQ plus month, and here at Kingston Libraries we want to celebrate authors from that community and books that feature characters from that community. And Nikita Gill herself is a member of the LGBTQ plus community, so she's the perfect poet to talk about today. Her book Great Goddesses does not necessarily include characters from the LGBTQ community, but it does include some fantastic retellings of the Greek goddesses and their stories. So Nikita Gill gives the Greek goddesses their own voices and enables them to tell their own stories in a way that they maybe haven't been told before. Often the Greek myths and stories were told from the perspective of men, which is something that Nikita Gill completely smashes with this book. She is completely feminist and her poetry is always so empowering, especially for young women. And her prose and her poetry, particularly in this book, breaks down the stereotypes we may have about some of the Greek goddesses, and they get to tell their own stories, give their own explanations for some of their actions. So, for example, with Hera, she gets to break down the stories that we know about her and offer some explanation for her actions and her emotions and how she's been feeling, which I think is fabulous. I think as well, people are often put off by poetry because they think it won't be accessible for them. They think it's going to be too wordy or too hard to read or follow. But that's one of the great things about Nikita Gill's poetry, is that she's incredibly accessible. Her poetry literally rolls off the tongue, and her poetry feels more like storytelling, and it doesn't feel like you're reading poetry, even though the words are so beautiful. And magical, and she really does bring these Greek goddesses to life, which is amazing. So if you're interested in Greek mythology and feminist literature, or anything like that, this is definitely the poetry book for you. If anyone does give it a read over lockdown or afterwards, please comment and let me know what you thought of it. I always relish the opportunity to fangirl about Nikita Gill and her poetry, so I'm always happy to have a book chat about that. But I hope you do enjoy it if you do pick up any of her poetry, and happy reading!